It's interesting. One other question is, are you being unkind to yourself? Since we're doing the unkind from different directions, because I hear people saying nobody hears me. It's like, but are you hearing yourself? Personal responsibility is such a huge, huge deal, and so important as you like take back your sovereignty and make choices for yourself, realizing you have the power. Like if you forgive, the world around you starts changing. Forgiveness is almost alchemical. Like if you can forgive things that seem unforgivable, the world around you starts changing. I laugh because some of my clients, so a family member they haven't heard from in 20 years suddenly calls them out of the blue and acts like nothing happened. It's so amazing, but it takes that personal responsibility of making choices that you want this taproot both directions. I call it a foundation of being. I see it like a lightsaber, that it's just like vroom, and you can hear the hum vroom, like in Star Wars. But it's when you remember that about yourself and allow that to your light being to start filling in and taprooting, it allows you to move through your life with a deeper certainty, not looking outside, but with a trust and faith in yourself as you move through. And so then it's much easier as you take the things that trigger you or that are in your face, because you've got this foundation of being, it's much easier to find what's underneath those things. And I want to just allow for another possibility, because most of the people I meet, they're digging. They've been trying really hard to clear all their emotional baggage and their triggers and their traumas and everything else. I just want to allow for the possibility there might be at a deep level an agreement that was made that you've been carrying through lifetimes, that keeps playing out over and over, that just needs, that thread needs pulled so that all that other stuff goes away. It sounds overly simplified, but I just know it's potent. Like when that releases, people tell me stories all the time, so I absolutely know it makes a difference. And I believe that just the intention, like if there's something underlying that I need to clear at that level, give me, because anyway,
well, you could say in your own little, work that you're doing, I now break all agreements, vows, contracts I have ever made in any lifetime.
At the deepest level that are keeping me from fulfilling, because you got to go like there's no point in pulling this one when there's one down here, and if you pull that one, they all go. But I love that. Yes, that's what I was trying to say. And whenever
we take something out, we need to put something in, replace it. So we replace it with light, love, compassion, and joy. Absolutely. Whatever,
absolutely.
That energetic exchange. Yeah, I agree with you. I'd like to just add another concept, and that is in finding the sacred neutral, the place of sacred neutrality, where we're not attached to an outcome or a person, place, or thing, actually. Because when we leave this body, we can't take anyone or anything with us. But what we take is our spirit soul. And so, the encounters we've had in our life, if life's been a bit rough for listeners here, it's been a bit rough for all of us, we've grown through that. But what we say is, you will have had a spiritual encounter or a soul encounter, whatever works for you in terms of, I call it spirit soul so we don't get confused. I have a different way of speaking. And so the spirit soul encounter is the one where you really meet yourself. You go, ooh. And that comes about often through a difficult scenario, navigating a difficult scenario, a challenge, a really difficult challenge. And so as Becky said, You know, you might find, oh, here I go again. I've got this thing's coming around again for me to look at, because it's requiring more of you to really face that challenge and work it through. It isn't something to go, oh, here I go again, and I don't want to know about it, which I used to do. It's actually, all right, here I go again. I'm welcoming the opportunity to grow from this experience. But to find the sacred neutral is the ultimate goal. And that then allows you to be fully present, fully conscious, fully connected in the spiritual realm.
And something that Chris said at the beginning about Sue, that Sue has learned through life experiences, you know, that is so important above all other kind of, you know, academic training and other courses and things like that. It is the life experiences, because we all have them. You know, everyone who's born and lives a life on earth, we gain all these different experiences, whatever they may be. And that is the way that we learn, that they're very specifically designed for every human being to be exactly what they need for them to learn a certain thing. You know, and it is the very difficult experiences that push us the most and get us to sort of turn around and say, you know, that's super hard. You know, why is this happening to me? And that's usually people's first questions. Why is this happening to me? Because I don't like it. And I wish it would stop. But it is those difficult experiences that make us understand, have a deeper understanding, if we are willing to go there. Not everybody is. I mean, you can live lifetimes, you know, having lifetimes full of experiences, but not really learning or gaining anything from them. And then you can have a lifetime where you think, right, now I want to just really focus on what's happening to me. Why is it happening? What can I learn from this? And how can I spiritually develop myself so that I can overcome these challenges to become a stronger, better human being, and that I can help others through this as well. One thing that I can think of for me personally was my childbirths. I had 3 different and very challenging childbirths. Really, for me, very, very challenging. And as a result of that, I really, really wanted to help other people not go through what I went through. So I trained to become an antenatal teacher, a childbirth educator, and I gained a huge amount of understanding of natural birth and spiritual birth, and recognizing that how we can approach this and prepare ourselves for something, rather than just thinking, oh God, it's going to happen, but I don't know how to deal with it, and then being faced with a whole load of kind of situations and crises, and poor management, you know, through protocol and things like that. So that's some way that I learned from it and really, really wanted to help others. And I did for many years. I did help couples through pregnancy and childbirth and early parenting. You know, you can't help everybody, but I know that what I did to help, along with my colleagues who also wanted to do the same thing for different reasons, many of them because they'd had the most wonderful, empowering birth, that they wanted to share that and encourage others to have that. But I think you can approach it from all different angles. So that's just something I wanted to add.
It's when you think about this, will help with the forgiveness and the challenging experiences we have. We made choices before we came in here, what we wanted to learn and grow, like what we wanted to deal with. And it keeps being, the opportunities keep being provided. So those people that are triggering you and making you mad and causing you trauma, like it's almost when you get to the bottom of it, when you can heal the thing within you, then you can see, oh, they're just, I needed somebody to push those buttons for me to learn that lesson. I can thank them and release them. You don't have to do that anymore. That's enough. Okay. But it just makes it freeze instead of feeling like victims. We're never victims of anything. The universe is wholly beneficent and is always trying to help us deal with, learn, grow from whatever it is we asked for. And once you know the beneficence, it just makes it easier to go through and say, okay, what do I need to learn from this? And how do I do that?
Whatever has been your challenge in your life, in your world, is actually your gift when you come through it. Your gift to others.
And to
And
yourself.
what Becky was saying, you know, that
Beautiful.
it becomes your medicine, if you like, what you have to be able to offer the world, because you've been through that and you've popped out the other side.
Like being born.
Like being born, I suppose, yeah. But it's what you've been through is your medicine for the world.
Love it.
Yes. On that note, I'd like to just add a pearl of wisdom. My pearl of wisdom is that all of our experiences and friction and conflict actually creates a pearl. A pearl is formed under friction. Remember that your life is a miracle, and it's a miracle that brings you to this time and place, and it's the friction that creates the pearl of your life, and that's your pearl of wisdom.
Beautiful.
That is so beautiful. That is so beautiful. And we've gone really quite deep into this. We didn't know where our conversation would take us, not at all, but it's gone quite, into some deep stuff. And what I wanted to also just talk about today, which is along the same lines, it's very closely related, and that is sovereignty. That is our sovereign self. So again, I'd like to go back to Grandmother Malara for your thoughts on sovereignty. Thank you.
To be sovereign is to be in your, to be able to make choices for yourself, have your own, be the source of your own authority, have the authoritative voice. So I just met with the tribal people in Central Australia for a couple of weeks, just recently, just only a couple of weeks ago. I've only been home a week. And in that, we came together, like about 90 different tribes were represented. Out of 250. That's pretty damn good. But we all traveled. For me, it took 4 days into the Central Australia, and we met there and had tribal council. We hadn't met before. We all got on. We went there with the true essence in our heart on the land of sovereignty. We said, this is our lands. We are claiming it back. We never ceded our sovereignty as a people. And we have written now a proclamation to the world, a proclamation of sovereignty. And we're claiming our lands, the administration of our lands back. And we're doing that for our tribe, for the people of Australia, and for the people of the world. We're the only peoples that could do it, because we're the only peoples that never ceded sovereignty. And it's happening. So we have made that proclamation. There's more coming out as a result of that. We've actually won already in the International Court and in the Northern Territory Court our coat of arms, taken it back and said, you can't use our symbols. That's our family. We never gave you permission to do that. We're taking it back. So we're actually dissolving, our plan is to dissolve the corporate governance and to bring sovereignty back to these lands for all peoples. And that will have a ripple effect across the world. So I'm working with sovereignty from a governance perspective, but in order to be able to do that, we have to know that we are sovereign beings in and of ourselves. All of us are. Just that we've had that authority like a cloak put over us, and we've been frozen, not been able to move. But when we all come together and we work on that, getting that cloak off, we go, no more. You will give it back to us, and we're making that claim. So individually, we can make a claim for sovereignty, to be the authority of your life, your voice, your authoritative voice, and together we will claim our sovereignty again. Thank you.
that is so beautiful and so exciting. And I'm so delighted to hear that. That's just, wow. I love that. I think part of, you did it from a governance and personal sovereignty, like we really do have the right and the power to choose our experiences. And we don't understand, like most humans don't understand, they have the right and the power that they can make choices and it will start changing the world around them. It's not as hard and fast as it seems, but they have to be willing to take personal responsibility and own themselves again. And that part of that is catching the cloak. Like you're right, we've been cloaked and dumbed down. And I tell people, it's just, you know, even inside yourself, you have to own yourself. If you're hearing the things you're saying to yourself, oh, you can't do that, that's wrong, it's not possible, whatever, grab it and say, where did you come from and why do you think that? You know, like, don't let it be true. Like, why would you want that to be true? You got to start catching that stuff and flicking it out, because it is a programming and it's in consciousness, and you can't, like, regaining your sovereignty is looking at what you believe and what you think is possible, and questioning it so that you can open yourself up, because there's so much more possible to each one. And we are in this incredible transition of reclaiming sovereignty on individually and on collectively and on all sorts of levels. It's a very, very exciting time to be alive.
It is so exciting. And I think for so many people, when you need to take several steps to get to that stage of recognizing sovereignty, because people, I think in general, don't recognize that they're not sovereign human beings. They don't recognize that they've had their freedoms and liberties taken away. And we've got used to it and we've got complacent with it all. And you know, talking of, you know, dumbing down and so on, what we're constantly fed through the TV, through the radio, you know, through the government, you know, we're told to don't focus on this, focus on that, you know. And nowadays with social media, so many people focus on what they look like and what other people look like and how they can fit in or how they can stand out. Or it's about so much about image. Younger people are forced to focus so hard on their image that it takes them really away from appreciating who their true potential, who and what they really are. And it's everything is done to, you know, conquer and divide, to split us up, you know, in so many ways. I mean, this is another huge topic in of itself, but it's a very, very big step to really face head on the conditions that we've been placed under as human beings, where we are right now in the world today in terms of the whole situation that's going on in you know, on Mother Earth and with humanity, and being able to think, I don't want that, I don't agree to this. I never really agreed to that, but I let it go and look what's happened. But now I don't agree to that. And now I want to take my sovereignty back. Now I want to express truly what I stand for, what I believe in. I want to be the real me. I want to start being authentic, and not thinking that I need to dress like this or, you know, style myself like that, or, you know, to please others or to fit in or to stand out. It's about the strength to recognize how you can start making steps to become sovereign. And that means perhaps looking at how you're paid, looking at who you vote for, all the different things. There's so many different aspects. And, you know, please guys help me out here with all the different aspects.
Here's a tip. Catch the voice that's in your head and go, wait a minute, whose voice is that? Is that my parents' voice or my grandparents'? Or is that the voice of the TV?
or the church.
Mm. Now you're talking. So unravel where is that coming from? Whose voice is it? And then what would your voice be? What's your voice on that? And unravel, so to unravel all of that conditioning. But our young people, can I go to there? Our young people need good role models. They need our adults to be sovereign so they can see what being sovereign looks like. Where they need good uncles and aunties to help mentor them, as well as parents. But it's just the aunties and uncles in my world are the ones that are more important in that, you know, that's who young ones would go to for advice or for a bit more information or to have a confidential conversation that they might not have with a parent. So I think if we can role model sovereignty, more and more of us, then more and more of us are going to be walking as sovereign beings. Walking the mystical path with practical feet. That's what I do.
Love that.